Hey, welcome back, and thanks for tuning in and watching the Cypress Sports Show, brought to you by Coach's Corner, your go-to spot before and after the game. I'm Jeff Russell here with Mark Slevcove. Today, we're super excited to welcome our CIF State Diving Champion, Isabella Chen, to the program. We're going to have a look back at our sports year in review, talk to some more athletes and staff members in our Subs and Grubs segment. How well do you know, Coach? We are down to the final week of the seasons. Everything is finishing up. We have had one of the most successful years in our athletics history. I mean, we are hotter than a tater tot hot dish from Minnesota.
Sounds like it.
Pretty hot. We have tons to talk about today as we look back on the year in review. A lot of excitement, just overall in what we're doing. Starting off in those fall seasons, looking back, we started off with football leading the charge, right? We always say the football drives the bus at the beginning of the year and gets us off to an exciting start, and we hope to carry that through all the seasons. And this year, man, did we ever with the football starting us.
It sure did. Football was an awesome, spirited season. Led us to Cypress High, most league championships we've ever had in school history, 16, which is the most by 3.
Wow.
And we've had a lot of great years in the last 10, 15 years and throughout the 2000s. There were days in the 80s where we didn't win one league championship, and this year we won 16. So yeah. We're off to the Century Conference.
We're out of here. One more season here, and then they're pushing us away. And that'll be competitive.
We've been very fortunate to have a great run of awesome coaches, great athletes, and fantastic teams in the Empire League.
Not just that, we've had great parent support. We got great boosters and parent support who've really done a good job of creating an atmosphere of success and really promoting our athletes. And it shows. It shows out on the field, the courts, and in the gyms.
Certainly. Football won their 4th league title in a row. You remember back in the fall, tremendous run for Coach Feldman's team. We lost to Downey in the CIF finals. But think about those playoff games, right? Those playoff games. First round, Highland, huge defensive stops at the goal line. Was it Matthew Baldonado, sophomore, with the stop on the 2-point conversion? Then you go to the second round game at Milliken. It was freezing cold that night. We had 4th and 15. Aiden throws a ball up. Trevor Monteleone comes down with that in this last-second effort to tie the game up and ultimately take the victory. Blake Cusimano with the touchdown as time's expiring, and then he gets the 2-point conversion as well. I can remember it like yesterday. He was in, by the way. He was in.
That photograph to me looks like he's over the line.
He's absolutely over the line. That's right. And then that semifinal game against Newport Harbor, right, comes down to the wire. Coach Feldman, we talked about it. He's never won a game with a field goal until the semifinals. Logan Kennedy, sophomore, just barely trickles that ball over the goalpost. That was an exciting time.
Yeah, it was. And then we move right past that. We go into volleyball at the starting right around the same time. And our volleyball team, man, talk about dominating the league for really an extended amount of time. 8 consecutive league championships. I mean, crazy how good they have been.
Coach Alex has it rolling. That's right, 8 in a row. We rarely lose a league game. I think this senior class went 29-1 in league, and that was with missing the 2020 season because of COVID. Maybe our best volleyball player ever in Zoe Henson came through the school. We've had a lot of really good ones, but Zoe may very well be the best.
Coach Dillard would beg to differ, I'm sure.
Was Coach Dillard first team All-County? I don't know. Did Coach Dillard?
First team all runway, first team all pavement, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Zoe had a phenomenal career along with the others in the senior class. Really tremendous run. Zoe CHS Athlete of the Year, League Athlete of the Year, going off to Washington. So phenomenal career for her.
And then you roll in with girls golf, undefeated as well in league. I mean, we had a lot of championships, but we also had a lot of undefeated league champions this year. And girls golf, what a great run. Catherine Gerbing, Kristen Legaspi, just an awesome job this year in golf.
That's right. Coach Mitri went undefeated. I think 9 teams of our varsity sports went undefeated in league this year. Catherine Gerbing kind of led the way throughout the entire year, and then Kristen Legaspi catches fire in the postseason CIF and goes all the way to the state finals. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, really cool. Tennis, as always, Coach Paul rolling with tennis, both the girls and the boys, but the girls in the fall for the last 5 years. He's gotten stuff done. So really good with the tennis team.
In Coach Paul's tenure, he's been our coach now for 15 years or so. I went back the last 15 years. His league record, check this out, 122 victories, just 35 defeats in league play. And he's finished in the top 2 of league 13 of the last 15 seasons.
Not a bigger lover on campus either, right? Big teddy bear. Cross country, the emergence, Ramon Rodriguez. Wow, I mean, how about his season this year? The number of PRs and things that he did. Just really tremendous job running this year.
Yeah, he just kept improving, and college coaches took notice, and he's getting the opportunity to run at Concordia next year. So Coach Tweed's done a great job of building the cross-country program, especially on the boys' side. I know our girls need some more depth. We need some more numbers out there to get some consistent times.
Yeah. Well, we got water polo. Some turnover. We've had some turnover with coaching and just trying to get it going with boys water polo this year. Maybe not the best we've ever had, but definitely they're working towards those goals of being league champs, and they're going to get there.
Yeah.
Coach Saldania's got them at least working hard.
They'll get it on track. Water polo in our league has always gone in cycles. It's been very cyclical with different classes of kids coming in for Valencia or Tustin or Cypress or Pacifica. So it goes in waves in our boys water polo league.
Yeah, and then we roll into the winter seasons. We got boys and girls basketball. I don't know much about basketball, Coach. But Coach Mitchell and Coach Rivera are killing it. I mean, Coach Mitchell's got them rolling this year, 8-2, second place. Coach Rivera undefeated there. I mean, they're both doing such a great job on the courts that people are really taking notice of them.
Yep, had tremendous years. Coach Rivera, one of the teams that went 10-0. First league championship since 2015. Maya Collins, talk about just a spirited player. She's so fun-loving. She's so competitive. She's just an awesome personality around campus. League MVP, right? Yeah. She's been all-county, third and fourth team twice now as a junior and a senior. They almost came back in that playoff game against Brentwood. And those girls, they looked like college girls. Remember watching that game? You're like, man, these girls are playing with this college-level maturity. And we took it down to the wire against them. And sure enough, you follow them for the next couple weeks, and who wins the state championship?
They did pretty well.
Brentwood did.
Yeah, crazy. Boys soccer, Coach Mora taking over for his brother Freddie. First year, he familiar with what's going on. Definitely trying to build for some future with the boys. And then girls soccer, Coach Nicole, Coach Chrissy. I mean, really, they are some of the mainstays at Cypress. They have been together for such a long time and really have a program that just continually does well.
That's right. They had a tough job this year replacing a huge senior class from 2022 where it was 9 of the 11 starters were seniors that all came through together. So this was a little bit of a rebuilding year, but you saw major improvement throughout the year. They won a tournament early on, and then they get into league and they just get a little bit better as the year goes on, and ended up being very competitive.
Yeah, for sure. Second place in league finish. Water polo won their 4th league championship in a row, so we know Saldania's going to work with the boys, but the work with the girls, that hasn't stopped. We've continued that success that we've had in the last couple of years.
Yeah, undefeated all 4 years as well, and this year was led by junior MVP Jasmine Lopez, so they had a tremendous season.
And then we roll into the mats. Coach Lumberg, the wrestling program. Talk about building a program. I mean, Coach Lumberg takes everybody, all comers, and really molds them and shapes them, gets them to where they need to be, and has grown the girls program with Coach Darren as well. And they do just such a great job with the program in wrestling.
Right. You think about some of the kids that participate in wrestling, zero experience wrestling when they enter high school, And by the time they're done with high school, they're league champions, they're competing in CIF. And I think Vita was one of those people, right? She won a CIF championship last year as a junior, CIF Player of the Year in her meet, in her division as a junior. And then this year she goes out and she finishes second at CIF, second at Masters, and then second at state, which is the first time or the farthest that the highest finish that a wrestler has ever had at Cypress High. And we had a CIF champion on the boys' side. Tyler Tinian won the CIF individual regional. So awesome season, maybe one of the best overall for Coach Lundberg.
Yeah, there's no doubt. We really enjoyed watching those individuals continue on and do work on the mat. And then we made it out this year. It's tough during that winter season to get to everything, but we were able to make it out and watch the cheer team, watch them compete in the CIF Southern Section playoffs. And while they didn't necessarily do as well as they wanted to in the one we went to, and they came right back, did pretty good the next week.
Yeah, we were the jinx, that's for sure.
Yeah,
we jumped in the car, rode out to Riverside at King High School, and we jinxed them for the CIF Southern Section title. But they did win this is a whole mouthful here, the CIF Southern Section Small Co-Ed Division title, something like that. They did a great job coming back, bouncing back in their competitions.
Yeah. It was great. I mean, the disappointment the week before to swing back in.
They responded well.
And their routine, if you haven't seen it, is really technical. They got a lot of stuff going on. It's really fun to watch them. Baseball, Coach Weber. I mean, again, a sport that has really dominated league play consistently. One of not only the top teams in our league, but the top team in the county, and they get that recognition every year, playing in very difficult tournaments, playing the top competition. He does not shy away from playing the best in order to be the best, and playing in Division I as well in the playoffs. Baseball always does well.
That's right, and we shared league title with Pacifica this year. Pacifica had a dominant pitcher, really tough to beat. We had to face him 10 innings in that last week in the 2 games. And then we got him, right, in that last game at Cypress. In extra innings, their guy hits a home run to take the lead, and then Chewy Thomas comes back and hits the 2-run bomb to walk him off and get a share of the league title.
That was a lot of fun for sure. There's those times when that excitement just boils over, and man, at the end of that game, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Softball team. Now we had a little transition. Coach Dole, Coach Thompson switching spots, and softball continued to be dominant, continued to do well, won the league title outright for the first time in
at least 20 years.
At least. And we know we had a share one a few years back. We won't talk too much about how that worked out, but in his first year to get us the first overall championship, really great job by the coaching staff.
Right, and in doing so, we had to beat Pacifica, and we beat them once out of the 2 times. The second time we lost 1-0, but Pacifica, we beat them in the league, and then they go on and win the Division I title. So they are obviously a really, really good team, and we got the best of them.
Well, boys volleyball, talk Coach Alex and girls, and then we roll to boys, and man, sure, her program and what she does really works. It shows 4th league title in a row, 10-0. Again, another one of those sports, and she just continually does it in both sides.
Yeah, 6 of the last 7 seasons a league title, and I'm always impressed when we talk to the volleyball players. They always talk about how tough Coach Alex's practices are. She runs those guys and girls through the grinder, and she pushes and pushes them, and it works. It works. Yeah. They turn out good teams every year.
Track and field, tremendous success this year in the track and field. We have 1 athlete still competing as well. Coach Iman, again, mainstay, been here doing it for a really long time. Does a great job with the organization of that. It's such a big job to do, and really gets not only the team but the individuals to do well.
Yeah, I think Coach Iman's mentioned this year as being the largest team he's ever had. More participants, more kids than he's ever had in his over 20 years of coaching here, 150, 160 kids. We're getting 3 buses for them so they can get to their meets. They had a tremendous year. The girls won the league title. On the boys' side, came close, but not quite. But Aiden Houston, MVP of football, also the MVP for boys track, and then Alan Vuong just brought it the last few weeks, qualifying for the state meet this week up in Clovis. We had him in here a couple weeks ago, and he talked about the goals he had for track season and the high jump, and I think he exceeded them.
Yeah, he's done really, really well and exceeded the limits that he thought he had and really pushed beyond it. Yeah. So great job to him. Coach Paul then in the boys season, again, our boys team really successful, ranked number 1 as they went into the playoffs. Maybe didn't finish the way Coach Paul had wanted, but still a tremendous season. And on the individual side, we had some really good showings as well.
Yeah, we were the number 1 team in the playoffs going into it, and we made it to the semifinals. So it was a strong showing. Josh sophomore, MVP of the singles events, had a tremendous year, and Coach Paul has created such a consistent program year in, year out. Kids are getting better, kids are competing, and this year we beat Valencia twice, so we got the undefeated league title.
Yeah, and then we roll out to the course, and we look a little bit of boys golf. So we got a little bit of interest in boys golf with you.
Yeah, I follow boys golf pretty closely now. It was a good year, back-to-back league titles. Of course, splitting it with Crean Lutheran this year, but I'm telling you, Crean Lutheran is loaded.
Super.
They're loaded. They got some big-time D1 commits, and we beat them one time, and we came very close the second time. Boys stepped up. Boys played great matches, and we got one victory against them and a close defeat the other time. But we share a league title with them. So it was super fun golf season.
Now we got swim, and we can add diving this year, which we haven't done before, but we got swim and dive, and we've really done a good job building that program, the numbers there, and then adding the dive component with our guest for today as well.
Yeah, remember a few years back, our pool was down, under construction, everyone was off site, had to go everywhere else to practice. Then we go through COVID, one of those programs that tough. Got to have numbers, got to have depth in swim, and we have that again. And the girls won the league title, 4th season in a row. Boys finished 3rd, but Ryan Novak, glad to see him compete, and won 2 races at league finals and did quite well at CIF.
Yeah, and then finishing up, we roll out to the gym and our badminton team, Coach Spencer, Coach Brian. They really put in a lot of time with badminton, and if you haven't been there, if you go in the gym, I mean, it's jam-packed, and they have a lot of athletes out there, and they put a ton of time, extra time on weekends and so on, especially in the off-season, to get us to where we are, and they had a great season this year.
Yep, tied the perennial powers, Cerritos, for the league title, going 15-1. We got a huge Empire League for badminton. We got all these teams coming in and cross-leaguing with us, so they play 16 matches in badminton, and we went 15-1 in those matches. And really, the best thing about badminton is watching their off-season training.
Oh yeah,
their off-season conditioning is a sight to see. It's pretty awesome.
Out on the blacktop and getting it done. So, it's going to be a little different as we move forward into that other league. As well with badminton, we'll have to see how that plays out with the teams. But man, what an awesome year of accomplishments! Congratulations to all the athletes, all the coaches on their success. We really value you guys and appreciate what you do, and we're super proud of you. Before we get to our champion diver, we are also going to check in with some more athletes and staff members on this week's Subs and Grubs segment. What else would it be on? How well do you know this year in Cypress sports? Here's what they had to say.
We are back one final time with Miss Monera. We're here with Coach Mitri, golf coach, league champ twice this year. We are here with Mr. Pfeiffer. We're here with loyal viewer, teacher Mr. Herrick. We're here with the competitive Aiden Houston, who wants to win everything that he does. We're here with junior basketball player Sarah Shigekawa. We want to know how well you know our year.
Okay.
All right. You should know all of these.
I should.
How many league championships did Cypress win this year?
For all the sports? Like all the sports?
All the sports.
No idea. 15.
10?
I'm just gonna go right out there and I'm gonna throw out 8.
18. 7.
3.
Who won more league titles, boys teams or girls teams?
Boys teams. Just kidding. Girls teams, of course.
Boys.
Girls teams.
I think the boys, but that might just be wishful thinking.
Girls.
Well, historically, it's the girls by far, but sure, we'll go with the girls.
How many teams went undefeated in league this year?
1.
I know at least one.
Oh, who went undefeated?
We did.
Oh.
1. 2.
2.
3.
That's it?
6.
6.
How far did the football team go in the playoffs?
Semi.
Semifinals.
Oh, they made it to the finals.
I think you're 0 for 4.
Shut up. Am I 0 for 4? I'm missing all these? I was at these games. Come on.
They went all the way, but didn't win all the way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
CIF semifinals.
Who was the
No,
CIF?
CIF finals. They lost in the finals. Oh. Yeah. Okay, anyway.
Made it to the finals.
Who was the CIF Defensive Player of the Year in football?
Nathan Schneider.
Defensive. No idea. I have one kid, Aiden Montemayor. I'm gonna say him.
CIF Defensive Player of the Year was Trevor Monteleone.
Trevor Monteleone.
Ooh, Trevor Monteleone.
I got one.
All right, what weight class did Tyler Tinian win in CIF wrestling?
Wrestling. Heavyweight. Is it like numbers?
A weight class.
Oh.
185. I think. Yeah, 185.
185.
185.
Tyler's a little guy, right? 135?
150.
What team won the CIF SoCal Regional Small Co-Ed Division title?
What? Say that again?
Wait, say that again. You said too
The
many words.
CIF SoCal Regional Small Co-Ed Division title. CIF SoCal Regional Small Co-Ed Division title.
I have no clue.
I don't know, badminton.
Badminton.
Swimming.
Boys wrestling.
Cheer. I think cheer. Cheer. Because of my guy Tyler Liang. That's my guy. That's my guy.
What football and track athlete was the league MVP in both sports this year?
Oh, that's impressive. I don't know.
Football and track.
Football and track?
Football and track. I have no idea.
Memphis.
No idea. Morel or Houston?
I think that might be. Is that Aiden Houston?
One of those is right.
I know Houston's in track. I have no idea. Oh, Morel's in baseball. Track. Houston.
Aiden Houston.
I believe that was me, Aiden Houston.
And what teacher put together and edited all of our How Well Do You Know videos this year?
Mr. Russell. And Mr. Slevcove.
No.
Mr. Slevcove.
Mr. Delgado.
Mr. Teach. Mr. Dean. Mr. Delgado. Oh, Delgado.
Dean Delgado.
Dean Delgado.
No, Delgado is a rock star, right? Yeah.
How well do you know the one? How well do you know the one? How well do you know the
All right, well, there you have it. This year was definitely a huge success and the first time in our history that we have an individual state diving champion. Isabella Chen, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Well, most people we have talked to were actually surprised that we have diving at Cypress High, mostly because we don't have a diving board here.
Yeah.
Have you ever stepped into our pool?
Yeah, I have.
Okay,
But,
okay,
like,
good.
not for diving.
Not for diving, just for like
Yeah.
recreational swimming or something, right? Or whatever it is. So you've been in our pool. How did it come about that you are our diving representative? How'd that happen?
Well, when we first started school, I knew that I wanted to do diving for high school because I knew that CIF existed, and I wanted to be able to compete for the school. So I talked to Miss Gaston about it, and she said that if I was in the swim team, that I would be able to compete for the school, and so that's what I did.
Very cool.
And then you got to Coach Saldana, and then she got to be there with you and
Yeah.
support you all along the way. How many steps did you have to get to the state finals?
So there were like multiple meets before that. It was like there was a qualifier before that, and then it started off with like just like a normal meet. It was like kind of everyone could join, and then it went to like championships, and then that was a qualifier for states.
So it just narrows it down
Yeah.
until you get to the small number at state.
Yeah.
Very cool. And kept moving up along the way. Diving's not the most popular sport,
Yeah.
right? It's not something that young athletes typically do. We all like to jump and dive into the pool, but not on a competitive level. So how did you get into the sport of diving, and did you do any other sports growing up?
I started diving when I was 7 years old, and that's because my parents used to be divers, and right now they're currently my coach. So I basically grew up by the pool deck, and it just kind of like, I started it for fun, and then it just became more serious as I got older.
And did you do other stuff growing up?
I did like a few stuff on the side, like I did ice skating for a little bit, but it was just for fun, nothing really serious.
Is diving fun?
Yeah, it's fun, except for when I smack.
No, yeah, that wouldn't be fun. No, of course
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, and that makes sense for how well do you know last week. We talked about it, and you nailed that question. You knew that we had a figure skating terminology since you were ice skating and doing other stuff. So you, at the meet, you set a record for the 1 meter dive. Has that sunk in yet? That like, of all the times they've run the state championship meet, you're the best.
It was unexpected, and like when they called my name, I was kind of just like, whoa, I didn't know that. But at the end, I'm like really happy with how I did because I had a good meet. It was like one of the better meets that I've had, so I'm really proud with how it's been.
Absolutely. How many dives did you do during that one meet?
11.
11 dives,
11
all off the
dives.
1 meter?
Yeah.
Wow, 11. So 11 different dives, or do you repeat any of the same dives?
No, they're all different.
Out of those 11, how many did you rip? You nailed them.
Most of them. Yeah, I think like pretty much my whole list was really good, or it was like better than my practice had been. But there was like one dive that I kind of messed up on a little bit, but it didn't impact my score much.
What was the last dive you did before you got the final results?
It was my back one flip, 2.5 twists, and I remember
Say that again.
Yeah.
like one back flip and 2.5 twists.
And then, okay.
That's how I usually enter the pool.
And then, okay, well, let me ask the expert. Are you entering feet first or are you entering head first? And if head first, how'd you get there?
Well, you always
Let's
enter
go back
head first. If you're diving.
Yeah,
This isn't a feet first competition.
No,
We're
but
going
it
head
is
first.
a feet first dive.
You didn't even know that. See, it's a feet first dive. Go ahead,
It's a
explain.
2.5.
Yeah,
You
well,
start on
2.5
your feet.
twisters, but just one somersault.
See, you're going feet first, but there's twists involved. You don't ask the expert. He doesn't know anything. So, anyways, 2.5 twists with one somersault.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Was
what I
that-
told you.
Going in feet first. Do you feel like that was your best dive of all 11 dives?
That dive, it scored the most points because part of it's because of its difficulty because it's like a pretty hard dive, and that scored the most points. So I would say it was my best dive.
Nice.
So winning a championship at any level, let alone the stinking California State Diving Championship, takes a ton of work. What things do you do to prepare for the CIF competition? How many hours a week do you train? How much dry land work do you do? What goes into it?
Well, lots of practice. So I train from Monday to Friday, and occasionally we have Saturday and Sunday practices. But each practice is about like 3 to 4 hours, and 4 hours, 4 hours. And it consists of dry land, which is like an hour and a half, and then we're in the pool for like 2.5 hours.
Wow. So 4 hours of practice, 2 hour plus getting good grades. You got an offer from Northwestern.
Yeah.
Unbelievable accomplishment right there.
Thank you.
So you know how to balance your time clearly between
Yeah.
athletics and academics. Do you ever have any struggles with that?
It is hard sometimes because I practice so much, and I go to practice right after school. So like it doesn't really leave me a lot of time to complete my homework, but like if I manage my time wisely and I get all my work done before, then it's pretty easy.
Nice. And last week on How Well Do You Know, we asked people, what, how high was your dive? And of course we got like 50 feet, 100 feet, a mile high. I mean,
Yeah.
so you compete at 1 meter, just over 3 feet, right? 3.28. I looked it up.
Yeah.
I looked it up. It's that. I mean,
Okay.
you're going to Northwestern, you probably know anyways. So, do you compete in other heights and other competitions, or is 1 meter the only one that you do, or is it like your favorite?
I compete on 3 meter, 5 meter, and 7 meter. I think my favorite is probably 3 meter.
Okay, cool.
Very nice. So most of us have tried to dive off the high dive or off a cliff or something like that into some water. What made you say, this is it? This is my sport. I want to do a bunch of flips, twists, somersaults, and not just flop into the water, but rip right into the water, no splash. This is it. This sounds like fun.
I just liked it, it was fun. I had like all my friends at practice, and it was just like a sport that made me feel good. And like I'm happy to be at practice every day, and it's just fun. Like I like doing it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We can see,
It's always good to if you're going to work on something 20
Yes.
plus hours a week, you might as well enjoy
and we
it.
can
right?
see the joy on your face
Yeah.
as you start saying like, this is fun, and a lot of people try diving and again, they flop. Did you ever have those moments when you were learning where you just, okay, your parents are going, hey, we're going to try the 1 flip, 2 twist dive, and you're going to enter feet first, and then you try to be him and you end up, I mean, it's hard to work through that, I'm sure, when you're younger.
Yeah, like learning new dives, it's always difficult because there's always like a chance that you're gonna smack and it's gonna hurt. But like at the end of the day, it's just water, and like you can't really get hurt as much as you do in other sports like gymnastics. So like it's just a new dive. It's not gonna really affect you that much in the future.
All right. Well, we are at the point in time where we do some fast action questions. I'm sure you've watched the show many, many times. Anyways, don't overthink these. Whatever comes to your mind first, answer. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Most difficult dive you've ever tried?
Inward 2.5 tuck off the 7 meter.
And about how high is the 7 meter? Like in
Do
feet?
some math, coach.
It's about 22.4 feet.
There you go.
Is it? I don't know.
I
It sounds
don't know.
about right. About 3 feet a meter plus the 0.28. Anyways, favorite dive that you do in a competition? I think you already said, but what's your favorite dive in your competition?
In the CI.
Just if you were going to a competition and you were like, I'm doing my favorite dive, not necessarily the one with the most points, just your favorite one.
Back 2.5 somersault tuck.
Okay. Do you have a favorite chamois that you use?
I had a favorite chamois, yeah, but I lost it.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, I lost it in a pool when we were in Las Vegas. So now I have a bright pink one.
I was going to ask what color, but you just saw the bright
Yeah.
pink chamois. Hopefully it'll become your favorite as well. Pre-meet or dive rituals?
I don't really have any, but I just like warm up and just talk to my friends, try to calm down a little bit, and then I just do the meet.
Nice. Other than diving, your favorite sport?
I love watching ice skating and like gymnastics. It's always really fascinating.
Nice. Well, last week we asked you about the triple Lindy. Did you look up the triple Lindy?
No, I didn't.
You haven't looked it up, and we even showed it on.
Oh yeah, I saw it
What
on
Do You
that.
Know
I saw it
with
on
Coach
that.
Lundberg's face. So, what do you think? Want to try it?
That was me. I mean, I would love to try it, but I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, it looks pretty sketchy.
I think there's some movie magic involved in the triple Lindy.
Yeah, maybe
maybe.
just a little bit. Well, we talked about ripping a dive earlier. So when you rip a dive, what does that feel like? Like people will say like, sometimes you hit a home run perfectly and it feels like they don't even hit the ball. Like in golf, you might like stripe a drive and it doesn't even feel like you hit the ball. Give us what that feeling is when you go in and you know you rip the dive. What is that feeling like? What?
Like just like right when you enter the water, it just like feels good. Like it doesn't hurt anywhere, and it just kind of feels like the water sucks you in, and you can kind of hear it a little bit too. Like if you've noticed, if you do a really good dive, the sound, it's kind of like a clap, and you can kind of hear it a little bit when you're in the water, and that sounds really good.
The clap. I actually, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So we always see on TV, and there's some memes as well with stuff about the faces divers make in the middle of the
yeah.
You're right. So who makes funnier, weirder faces, gymnasts or divers?
Divers, just because I know some people who make really funny faces when they jump off the board. So, and I don't know that many gymnasts.
Do you have any pictures of yourself where you're like, oh, look at my face?
No, not of myself, thankfully.
Oh, good for you. All right, well, there you have it. Thanks again to Isabella Chen for being on the show. Thanks to our sponsors, Subs and Grubs and Coach's Corner, for supporting us all year long. Make sure you get out there to Coach's Corner and Subs and Grubs. Show them the same support that they have shown this program. This is our last show of the year. We hope you've enjoyed this year in sports and our review today. And we look forward to seeing you all next year. Thanks again for watching. Have a great summer.